Alright everybody, welcome to the channel. So this is going to essentially be my video game pickups for May, even though we're already getting close to halfway through June. That's how this channel rolls basically all the time. But I do this, okay, so here we go. This video is going to be a little different. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I've been doing pickups on this channel for basically since the conception. We've been around for about 3 years, and I've always done pickups. I usually have a lot to show. Usually have, I'm really excited to show off like a big variety of games. A lot of just shelf filler, but it's always fun to collect a lot, right? This month is very different. I only have five video games to show off. I am very excited to show them. I want to talk about it, but I also kind of want to use this video in a little bit different of a way. More so as a vessel to kind of talk about where I'm at right now with collecting and kind of my thoughts on things. I don't want to do this as a separate video because when I do, it doesn't get any views, and that's fine. But I figured this would be a good way to show off what I did pick up, but kind of just share some of my thoughts and feelings. Currently, I'm video game collecting, personally and as a whole, and then, hopefully this can start kind of a little dialogue. I feel the way things have been going, especially this year, I keep getting more subs, even though I'm posting less videos, but it's the same people that comment, which is fine. I am enjoying developing the dialogue with you guys, everyone that wants to, communicate in this way through YouTube. I know that's probably not like a cool thing anymore, but I appreciate it. I like doing YouTube a lot still, and doing the channel. So that's kind of where I'm at. Scatterbrain thoughts everywhere. So there we go. Let's get into it. The first thing I want to show won't be a video game, but I'll put a picture here. And this is kind of where the majority of my budget went for May, because this rug was fairly expensive. I did get the largest one, so it's over 6 feet long. It's longer than I am, which is great because it covers a big surface area in the game room, which is what I wanted. It's very soft, and I was worried because it's not like an official Nintendo rug, or sponsored or anything like that. It was just like a company that made this, but the quality is very good. I was super happy with this rug. I was worried because it was very expensive. I think all in, I paid somewhere around $350, which is a lot of money for a rug. And yes, it does tie the room together, so it was worth it. But that's a lot of money for a rug. So I was nervous, but it came out, it was delivered, completely met all my expectations. I was very happy with it. So there we go. There's the rug. That was the majority of my budget, video game and otherwise for the month. But I needed a new rug down here. I used to have one, but it got kind of ruined when I had ferrets. It was just old and dingy and smelly, so I got rid of it a while ago, and I needed something else down here. And I'm very, very happy with the rug. There we go. The next thing I want to show off, which is, this was kind of funny, and once again, this is not another official product at all by any means, but it's from my favorite video game of all time. And right after I purchased this, and it did get delivered, and then like a few days later was the, I forget which showcase was it. I don't know, it was video games, but they were revealed the remake for Final Fantasy Tactics, which we all kind of knew was coming, but just to have it made official is definitely like an awesome feeling. And I can't wait for that one, but I got this off of Amazon again. Let me see if I can actually get it back far enough where you guys can see the whole thing. It's a very big poster. Oh, there's, sorry for the armpit. But yeah, it's just very great artwork from the game. It's a big poster. It's very basic. It's just got Ramza and Delita on it. And it's just like a rip from the original game that they did into this big like glossy poster. Very cool. I'm going to get a frame for that and put it up. But yeah, just the fact that they announced the remake right after I got it, I'm like, oh, and it was cheap. It was like $12 on Amazon. It got delivered in one of those rolls, like the thick cardboard, which is how I feel like every poster should be. It drives me nuts when you get these awesome artworks on posters, and then they're folded up. So no matter what, they have crease lines. It's like, okay, well, that sucks. But this was delivered in a roll. So it's in really good shape. Very basic and very cheap, but I'm super happy with it. It'll look great on the wall. So yeah, there's that. So let's get into a couple of games that I did pick up. The first one, this is just, I saw, somebody talking about RPGs on some channel. I don't even remember the channel or the video I saw it on, so I apologize. I should start, mentioning the channels I watch and stuff, just to, give people credit. But this game looked cool, and I looked it up on eBay, and sometimes you can still find Game Boy Advance games for very good prices for complete in box. And I have the Analog Pocket with the dock, so I can play them on a TV instead of the Game Boy Advance, which is phenomenal because I don't want to hold a tiny little console with these big hands. So I don't have to do that. Here's the game I got. Long title. It is Shojin Jumps, Shaman King, Legacy of the Spirits, Sprinting Wolf. Terribly long title. No title should be that long for a game. But this is complete in box, and it is an RPG. And the video I watched, I think they were going over either hidden gems on the Game Boy Advance or forgotten RPGs, JRPGs on the Game Boy Advance. I don't know. I don't remember. But this one looked really good. It piqued my interest when I saw it in the video. So I found it for like a really reasonable price. I think all in, complete in box, was like somewhere around 35 bucks or so. To me, that's completely worth it for a game, any game this old that's complete. And the cardboard box is in pretty good shape. There's like a little tear, if we can get it right here. Little things like that do not bother me at all. Just to have all the art and all the pieces of it together, that's great. And then the next game I got, if you're new to the channel, hey, thanks for checking out this video. Every month I'm trying to add another complete in box Sega Genesis game to the collection. And I feel like this month I got an awesome one. I was super happy to pick this up for as cheap as I did. It is Fatal Fury, the original. I mean, how do you not love that artwork? But yeah, it's the box is super clean. The console, or the cartridges. The manual is like a little frayed in the corners here. But I got, once again, I know some people are like purists and it has to be like pristine. Guess what, guys? Manuals for the Sega Genesis are almost never pristine, and I'm not paying an extra God knows what to get a pristine manual. The manual's complete. There's no water damage. It's just a little bent up in the corners. That doesn't bother me. And it's an awesome game. So very happy to add that one. All right, and then the next game I want to talk about, or show, and I want to talk about a little bit, and this is like on a personal level. I've gotten more serious into video game collecting for, I don't even know how long now. It's 2025, so I guess like 8 years, which feels crazy that it's that long. I still, I saved all my games that I've ever, that I received as a kid, growing up as a teenager. But, when you're a kid and you're a teenager, you only get a few games every year. That's all Christmas or your birthday or whatever it is. But when I started collecting more seriously, I started collecting PlayStation 2. It's one of my favorite systems of all time. I love the PlayStation 2. I still feel like it holds up. I could argue that. I'm certainly not going to argue that it's as the graphics or anything are as good as modern consoles, but in terms of what it does and the quality of games and everything, basically I still love the PS2. So I'm working on a PS2 collection, very slowly and deliberately going for a complete PS2 collection. Here's the problem I'm running into, is it's becoming less fun to hunt for all the average, I don't even know the right way to describe the games, just the vast majority of games for the PS2. Video game hunting is changing. I used to be able to go into Goodwills, to Salvation Army, half-price books where I live. I know other places, there's other storefronts that are very similar in nature. But either the price of the PS2 games are just skyrocketing, or in the case of thrift stores or Goodwill and Salvation Army, like I mentioned, they just don't even carry the games anymore. Any games that are turned in, they ship off to sell on their online store, which is an auction site, which I refuse to go on. I feel like that defeats the purpose of being a Goodwill. So anyways, PlayStation 2 hunting is kind of grinded to a halt right now for me, and it's disappointing for sure because I love picking up games for it. I have at least 35. Realistically, it's over 700. A lot of games for the PlayStation 2, but there's so many more. I believe the total, as far as I can figure, for the NTSC, North American English release games, the official collection is close to 1900, and I'm not even at the halfway point yet. But finding them out in the wild has become very difficult for me. From where I live, Northern Illinois, there's not a lot around. I have one pawn shop that is very reasonably distance away from me. It's less than 10 minutes drive. And the owner is nice, and it's a nice little shop, but his prices are ridiculous. The majority of his games, I think he looks up comps for whatever's sold, and he goes to the highest price sold, and he marks it like $5 more than that. So it's ridiculous, and it's not fun to purchase that way. I want to find deals still on the majority of these games. There's 1,900 games. I don't want to pay more than the highest it's sold on eBay over the last year or whatever, however long they track it, and wherever he's getting his crazy numbers from. I'm gonna take a pause here and take a little drink. So if you've been watching the channel, I usually have at least a couple PlayStation 2 games every month to show off, to update. Last month, when I did my video games pickups, I had 0 PS2 games. That's the first time, I think, in at least 3 years that I haven't had a PlayStation 2 game. And it's just because it's not fun. I don't want to go on eBay and buy, a Madden game or like whatever generic PlayStation 2 games. Those are the games I want to find out in the wild, complete in box in a decent shape for, $3-4 a piece. I want to start adding those to the PlayStation 2 collection that way. So I'm kind of at a cruxus, like, what do I do? How do I collect PlayStation 2 games and make it fun? Yeah, you could go on eBay or go on Amazon probably or wherever and still purchase PS2 games, but it's not fun to do it that way. So I didn't pick up any PS2 games last month. This month, I will say, I watched another video on YouTube about, I think it was just the best JRPGs on PS2. And this game got mentioned. It's Jade Cocoon 2. Pretty cool little box right there. And it is complete. I only do complete in box PS2 games. It's a very thick manual, actually. And it has, the complete manual. It's got, I think it had the registration card still intact in the back. It's got all the other extra add-ons, which as gamers we get screwed over now. All that extra stuff in here, and it was a good price. I was watching it on eBay. That's usually my tactic for the majority of games that are just sitting on there, where you see a lot of them listed for around the same price. I'll follow a couple that are listed that look like are in good shape and the sellers have good feedback. I will watch them. And usually what's been happening is one of them has been sitting on the game for a long time, and they'll actually send me an offer for even cheaper than they have it listed for. And the offer on this was really good. I think he offered like 20% off of what he was originally listing it for. So of course I wanted to jump on that. I want to get more PS2 games. I just don't know how to go about it the best way for me. Some of my favorite channels are, guys and gals that get to go out to a bunch of conventions and, hang out with each other and have fun, but hunt and make deals. And I'm very envious that I don't get to do that to the level that I want to by any means. So anyways, I picked up one PS2 game, but I don't want to stop getting PS2 games. I just don't know how the best way to get more in a fun way of collecting, if that makes any sense. So there's that. That's the third game. I have 2 more games I want to show off, and then kind of just talk about one more thing with collecting or with video, where the world of video games is right now. And I know that some people will disagree with me, and I want you to tell me why I'm wrong. I'm usually wrong about most things if you ask my wife. But I feel very strongly about this, and I want to actually have a conversation with somebody. So we'll start here and see where it goes. The last two games I picked up. The first one is the Karate Kid Street Rumble. This game looks awesome. I've gotten really, I shouldn't say hardcore. I'm a big fan now, currently, of beat 'em ups. They're very accessible, very quick to just jump in and play, and they're a lot of fun. My kids, one of my kids will always sit down and play with me. I think one of the biggest draws that got me into it was the River City Girl games, where you play as two girls. My daughter loves them because you get to play as a girl and kick ass, and they're super fun games. And that kind of drew us in. And I have two boys. They watched us play that, and they're like, "Well, I want to play a beat 'em up." So they've gotten into beat 'em ups, and it's a fun time to plug these in. We kicked butt on Shredder's Revenge, and just played a couple others that are just like super fun. They're very, just like satisfying games. You don't have to have like a ton of skill. You can just walk around and beat up bad guys, and they're great. So this looks really great, and I've heard really good things from people that like beat 'em up. So I'm definitely excited about this. This is still shrink wrapped. It's crazy, the start to summer. As you can tell, I'm a little red. My son's got baseball like every day, and we have a lot going on. So we haven't had time to play it yet, but that will be the next beat 'em up that we dive into. And then the last game I have that I've seen so many people pick up and talk about and praise, and they're all excited about it. So I just had to pick it up before you can't get it anymore, because I would have just kicked myself in the butt if I didn't get it. It's the Suikoden, or Suikoden. I've heard so many people pronounce it in different ways. I just say Suikoden. I assume that's at least a acceptable way to say it. And if I'm dead wrong, I apologize, guys. But it's the 1 and 2 remaster. And I've heard they're phenomenal games. And I heard the remasters are really well done. And it's a great way to play the games. And as far as I'm aware, I've never played one of the games in the series. So definitely something I'm putting on the eternal backlog. And hopefully I will get to these one day. But the price on Amazon, I don't remember what I paid. But it was not a lot of money. So yeah, very happy to get that. And that kind of leads into the last thing I want to talk about, and I will try to make this brief because I already see the time on my phone, and nobody's watching the video this long, but I'm still picking up Switch games. If you've noticed, that's not difficult to notice, but I haven't picked up any Switch 2 games, and that's because I haven't picked up a Switch 2. And yeah, I currently have no interest in a Switch 2. Which is really sad. It's sad for me. It's sad to say, but it's true. That's how I feel. That's being honest. The Switch, I think, is one of my favorite systems ever. It definitely helped me get back into gaming. I've always gotten the new PlayStation because I, play online games with my friends, and that's normal, whatever. For just what I'm just used to doing. Even the new PlayStations aren't super exciting. They're just a little bit better graphics, a little bit quicker processing, blah, blah, blah. Not really super exciting, but the Switch just really felt special when it came out. Just in what it was capable of doing, what it was, innovative, but fun, but still to me, it felt fully based on gamers, what's best for the gamer. It was just so much fun all around. And it really felt like they did have the gamer's best interest at heart. And the Switch 2 feels so much the opposite to me. And I've heard so many arguments one way or the other. It's a more powerful system, and it doesn't matter if things are digital. If you have a game key card, you still have to have the disc to play the game, but it's not the game. And it's just, to me, it's all very sad. Not to be dramatic or, anything like that. To some degree, I guess it is. But as somebody who's played video games since I was a child, and some of my early memories as a child, playing my original Nintendo, laying on the floor in my family room with my parents sitting on the couch behind me, playing Mario Brothers for the first time. memories from being a little kid where, you know, all the neighborhood boys, we'd run around outside, but then we would take a break and come inside and see how far we could get in Super Mario Brothers 3, or fight each other in Street Fighter 2 when the Super Nintendo came out. I have so many core memories, solid memories, like really good memories of video games. They've meant a lot to me my whole life. Even as an adult, one of the ways I keep up with a lot of my friends is only through video games. We play Warzone, which I'm terrible at, but I love playing because we get to get on the microphone and joke around with each other, and we get frustrated with each other because, you know, Warzone sucks. But we catch up with each other, so my only chance to, like, engage with them as adults, like, to actually get to talk to people. So, gaming has always meant a lot to me. And I don't mean to say that, like, you know, be over dramatic where gaming's over. But it just feels like it's changed to the point where it's never going to be as magical as it was before. It's never going to be the same thing. And it's never going to be gamer focused. It's now company focused. It's more about them making as much profit as possible at the expense of the gamers instead of catering to the gamers. I know a lot of people, especially younger people. I don't even know how many young people watch this channel, but they say, oh, they don't care about digital. They just want to buy the game and it's more convenient. It doesn't take up space. And you know what? I get all those arguments, and they are perfectly good reasons to play games digitally. And I have no problem with that. And I will say right now, I don't think I said this yet. I'm not saying I'm boycotting the Switch 2, or I hate it, or whatever. I'm telling you right now, I know eventually I will get a Switch 2. I know I will. But I will completely focus on games that are complete on cart. And it will be very rare for me to buy a game that's only digital or a game key card. I just think that idea is just so long term. It's so stupid. You know, the original Switch, I think there's 3 or 4 games that I ever purchased digitally, and 3 of them were very small indie games that I just wanted to check out, and they were like I got them on sale for a couple dollars. And I wanted to support the developers. But if they would have come out physically, I would have paid $30, $40 for it. But besides that, it was only physical games. And with the Switch 2, it'll be the same way. I will only buy the games if I own the game afterwards. I'm not going to pay someone $60 to $80 for a game that I don't own and I can do what I want to do with. And in the larger perspective, the way I'm looking at it is that moving to an all digital future, no matter how you like to consume video games now, is ruining video games for everyone for the future. It's destroying the legacy of video games. Not being able to go back 20, 30 years from now, which is what I can do with my games, and a lot of people that collect old video games can do. I can get a cartridge and put it in a system and play it right away. And it's mine. I can consume that media however I want to consume it. I own it at any time I can play it. For all digital games, they're eventually going to get to the point where, you can't play it anymore, even though you purchased it on the Switch 2, they don't support it. You're going to have to rebuy it on the Switch 3 or PlayStation 7. Whatever the system is. They're not going to care if you bought it one time or not. You're going to not own those games. And you're going to forget about them. I go through these shelves and I see old games that I forgot about, that I own them and I forget about them, but I still have them where they're playable anytime I want to play them. If you're buying everything digitally, you're not going to remember these games down the line. You're not going to be able to share these games with your friends, with your children when you're older. You're not going to be able to resell these video games and make some kind of value out of it. There's going to be a decline in the secondary market and pawn shops, and video game conventions are going to take a huge hit. Everyone that's thinking short term right now that like, oh, it won't make that big of an impact. Yes, it will. How big and popular video game conventions are right now, in 10, 15, 20 years from now for sure, they're going to be a shadow of their former selves because there's not the same level of first-party physical media, games expanded outwards, that there used to be. It's just going to diminish the whole bubble, the whole culture around video games. I'm not saying the number of people playing games online, the money that's being consumed or put into video games, like all, especially with all the online stuff, Warzone and Minecraft, and I'm pretty sure Fortnite's still got to be somewhat popular. Marvel Rivals is big right now. All like the online games are still going to make so much money, where the industry as a whole is going to justify the change. They're going to say, no, we're still super profitable. We're making tons of money. And you got to remember right now, the video game industry as a whole is the most profitable entertainment industry in the world. It makes more than music. It makes more than movies, theater, anything else. Video games topples all of those by far. And they're going to use all of those metrics to justify the fact that it's not about gaming anymore. It's not about the gamer. It's not about top quality games that they are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into to produce, to sell to you, that you own now. It's going to be about, well, no, you're plugging your credit card in to make, monthly payments and buy monthly passes or season passes, or you're purchasing a game, but hey, if you read all the, scroll through all the pages and pages of text, you don't actually own it, even though you're paying $70. You're just renting a game long term. And when they deem that it's, they're not going to support that anymore, it's just gone. I don't know. There's so many things about the way video games, industries are going, companies, it's just all, for me, it's very sad and depressing, because I just feel like it's the end of the greatest era of video gaming, and we're moving into something that's going to be far, far darker for video games. And I know there's still a few shining lights. They're still gonna, I'm hoping that there's going to be that small section like me that are stubborn and holdouts and demand good quality physical games. And that's one of the things now where I see all these people hate on limited run games, and I get it. They have problems. I'm not going to defend them, but they put out usually high quality products that are physical games, and there's still really good games coming out that you can get physically. And I will once again mention Claire Obscura Expedition 33. I'm just about done with the second act. I know it's been out for long enough, everyone's beating it, but I'm super slow at games. That game is phenomenal, and it gives me hope that there is still going to be some level of traditional video gaming. Companies that make an amazing game, put it all on a disc, it's complete when it comes out, and you can just own it. I just don't know. As a whole, I feel like this is the Switch 2 is kind of the beginning of the end. I was kind of hoping after how Switch 1 was, every game was still physical on the disc, it was still complete, that Nintendo would be the holdout. They would be the ones to say, no, we're going to still be consumer friendly. We're going to focus on the gamers, on their rights, on their ownership. But no, very clearly, they are looking at dollar signs more than anything else too, which to me is just the saddest sign for video games. You guys got to also remember, if you look at the history of games, companies and studios that made games would throw in so much extra stuff into a cartridge, or not a cartridge, like a case or a special edition, just to sell it, just to get people to buy it. And now they expect you to pay $70 for a digital game that you don't even own. So I think until there's enough people that are willing to sacrifice playing new games, playing incomplete games, or paying for something that you're not getting your value out of, that this is just going to get worse and worse. So I don't know. That was a very long-winded rant. Anyone that got through that, I would love to hear what you have to say about it. And if you do completely disagree with me, really just tell me why. Like, I would love to hear those reasons. And if you think that this stuff is not the end of, gamer-based gaming, I want to know. I want to hear why you think that's right and I'm wrong. And I really would appreciate hearing your opinion. It just, we're all here for video games, right? We all love video games, and I hope we all want the best out of video games. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. It's just, I don't know, I guess kind of a dark time for me, for gaming. Not like super dark. I'm not that dramatic, please. But anyways, I think that'll do it. Thank you guys, anyone that watched me blather on forever. You guys keep on gaming. I love everybody that watches this channel. You guys, it means a lot to me that anyone would listen to me when there's so many actually good channels on YouTube. So that'll do it. Keep on gaming. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.